Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to another interesting episode of the program. And as you know, I'm Adesua, aka Miss Sunshine. And as you'd have already know, I am not alone on set. I have with me someone I would call a Nollywood veteran. That's because he is an award-winning film director and also the CEO of Studio 67 UK. He's none other than Chooks Mordi, aka King Gorilla. I bet you didn't know that.
Hi, viewers. Where did you find that out from?
I do my research.
Well, it's behind the scene thing, jungle thing, jungle filmmaking, where Nollywood was born from. Yeah.
Okay, so can you just tell us about Studio 67 UK? Because we really don't know much about it.
Right. Studio 67 Academy UK, which is the full name, okay, on registration, is a combination of a production house and a training academy. But a training academy with a unique appeal to it. It's not a stationary training academy. It only has its registered base in the UK. It's a mobile training academy. Like recently, from December last year, no, from October last year, we were very busy in Nigeria. We supported an event in Jos, Plateau Next Nollywood Star, where we had to look after the training of actors and, fresh actors and fresh directors for the period of a month there. And we had a stint in Port Harcourt as well, where we had hands-on experience training program. So as we move the whole studio as we go, your man and crew, equipment and all that. So we are able to move from place to place as at when due or as at when required. Okay, so that's the concept behind it, because I'm very mobile. I couldn't have been able to sit back in the UK and run a steady conventional academy. I would love to have to do one of those, but I still believe I have a lot of journeys to make ahead of me. So I didn't want to start tying myself down, being in a stationary place, and then be wishing I was here, I was there. Like, in a few days from now, I'll be in France. Yeah. I'm meeting up with a new school. And then there's another potential deal opening up for another school in the UK. And we're talking about Ghana in around October. Then there's Cameroon coming up. So if I left the studio, the academy, because I wanted to look like London Film Academy, I'll be failing in my purpose. So I felt, for me, it's all about transfer of knowledge. It's not about location. If I can pass on what I know to you, I'm quite happy to bring it to your doorstep. As long as you receive it, my job is done. Okay, so that is why I made it a mobile academy.
Okay. Let me ask you this, though. What does it feel like to represent Nollywood in the diaspora?
That's a very intriguing question with a heartwarming and will give you a passionate answer.
Okay.
I'm grateful you're asking, because not a lot of people ask me that. They don't ask me that because maybe I'm not loud enough, okay? But I feel very satisfied now in 2017 that Nollywood has finally taken off in the diaspora, the UK particularly, and then America. Because if I look back now to the first time I stepped my foot in the UK in 2000, compared to what we have today, the difference is very clear. I did meet a few filmmakers, one or two people, but I had to push myself very hard to break the grounds in the UK and to create the enabling environment, or to seed the evolution of Nollywood in the diaspora. It took me about 8 whole years of constantly plugging in and punching out and pushing. It cut across so many different interactions with various other people, as far as having confrontations with pirates in the UK who were busy pirating Nollywood films.
Oh, they do that as well.
They did that then, you know, but I think I was more passionate than they were to steal our jobs. So I gave them a good hard fight with a few guys with me, and I would say we succeeded to stop them in their tracks, and kind of the piracy in the UK, if not crushed, slowed down drastically. Then also, my time there within that first 8 years meant I needed to ask a lot of questions. I had to ask a lot of questions, like, we make films, where do we screen them? I didn't meet an answer when I came in, so I had to ask the question again and did all the legwork of going around cinema to cinema, asking for opportunity to screen films in the UK. I remember in 2002, I visited a cinema in Greenwich then. The Odeon hadn't been built then. Then I met this young man, and he laughed at me for coming to ask for space to screen film. He just sniggered and said, "You wish." And I looked at him and said, "Trust me, you will see my film on a big screen in this country." Because then you were not able to. I don't know why. Whether you were not allowed to or nobody has tried it, I had no clue. So we pushed on, and by 2003, we gained the first license to screen Nigerian films in the UK. And the irony was that my film was still in post-production, and I didn't want to lose the opportunity or make the council of Suddock to believe that we were not serious. So I got to be a Millennium's film, Echoes of War, and that was what I screened first. Gave it massive boost, and yeah, it was great. And I think 2 weeks later or a week later, my film had come through the post-production, which was the first film I made in the UK, called Bad to the Bone. Okay. I had Tony Manjaro on it. You know Tony Manjaro? Mm-hmm. Okay, Ngozi Zon was on it. Late Nebele Lobo was on it. Okay. Uche Odopota was on it, you know. So that was the first phase of introducing Nollywood to big screen. So it was a wow experience. And take it or leave it, it wasn't easy getting to that point. Mark Zuckerberg hadn't finished school then, so I couldn't take advantage of the social media to announce. So I had to leg it in London, flyers on all cars. So I printed about 20,000 flyers and I legged it for 2 weeks, making sure people would come out and hear about Nollywood. Wow. Okay? Then after all that, the Odeon Cinema felt there's an opportunity here. Whether it's informed their decision, I don't know, but I know they did not build those two cinemas in Surrey Keys and in Greenwich before this event. But immediately they just launched in and built it, and the whole activity now moved that way from the first one, which was called Peckham Multiplex, right? That was where it was called, Peckham Multiplex. That was the first place we screened Nollywood film. So after that, the rest became history. So it became now easy for people who were coming in to find an acceptance because the ground was broken. And gradually now it's picking up, it's growing. And you come to London now, you have brilliant filmmakers now, you know, all over, you know, they even have their own association, ironically. They refuse to associate with my alma mater, or no, not alma mater, wrong phrase, sorry, with my home base, with my headquarters, you know, with my mother body, the Association of Film Producers Nigeria, okay, which I chairman in the UK. You know, they don't want to have anything to do with Nigeria getting involved with what they're doing in the UK. Well, they might have their own point of feel to it, but I felt I'm an ambassador to the core. I wouldn't take, because of the green on the other side, drop my flag. And I told myself, I will be the last man standing in UK being a member of the Association of Movie Producers, United Kingdom chapter, until my headquarters says, that's fine, shut it down because people are not responding to us, then that's fine. Let the other group do their thing, but I'm home base. I only went out to represent, to sow a seed internationally. So within all that period, what we now saw was that more interest was taken by other people. I was always in and out, okay, so I think in 2004 I had a huge campaign here because at that point we had crisis in Nollywood. There's a lot of silent waters, rough waters were flowing on the ground. The marketers didn't want to see the actors didn't want to see the producers. So there was so much confusion. So I came in and I funded a reconciliation meeting in National Theatre, which I think we hosted about 1,000 people across actors, marketers, and producers. And we all reconciled and it was okay. Good. I think a year or two after that, Robert Peters left for America. You know Robert Peters, don't you? Yeah. Okay. The guy that directs AY comedy. Yeah, he left for America. So if you ask me, I would say I would rather see it from the work done than from the glory we all now can share. Okay. Because if I begin to struggle to share the glory, I will lose out. Because I don't have the loud noise, I don't have the loud mouth to scream most. So I believe in the history. For me, it's the strongest part of my life, the history.
Okay, let me ask you this though. I haven't said all of that. So how would you say non-Africans or Westerners perceive Nollywood movies or Nigerian movies?
They respect us greatly, at least in the UK. I know about that. What we did or what we've done in the UK has given birth to Sierra Leonean filmmaking groups, Ugandan groups, and I think, is it Kenyans? But they all still come around us to give them support to help. And we freely associate with them, we work with them, support them to help them also build, and they take these expertise and support back to Africa, to their own country. Some of us also travel with them to help them do things in their country. So there's that synergy, subtle synergy that is working. Ultimately, everything Africa right now, globally, everything Africa on TV globally right now is regarded as Nollywood, whether they like it or not. Okay. Because we went out early and we tread the meal far too long before any other African country came on board. So it's going to be difficult for them to come up to say, okay, recognize us as Ghanaian filmmakers, recognize us. No, I'm sorry. There's this huge shadow that Nollywood has cast globally, and that's because of what we did from the UK. Because it wasn't a small noise. I mean, we stressed out BBC, we stressed out Virgin Atlantic, we stressed out Directors Guild of Great Britain, we stressed out Cinematographers Guild of Great Britain when all these campaigns was happening. So they soon came to understand that this is a force, a phenomenon to be reckoned with. Okay. You know, okay. So when I look at what's happening now, I'm happy that all those labor, in my own mind, was not in vain. But forget about the acknowledgements, short of asking people to thank me for something. No, don't worry. Just tell me when you started, okay? Then I will thank myself. Okay.
All right, let's get away from all that and come back to you. You studied fine and applied art, yeah?
Yes.
And then your first break in Nollywood, as to say, was as a set designer or props designer for...
Yes,
so how did you go from being a set designer or prop designer to being Mordi, the film director?
I think it was in the gene. Okay. My first day on stage, I was 6 years old in Delta State. Okay. So I started acting on stage from primary age, and when I found myself in the university, I created my own, or I had the opportunity of having my own jungle theater kind of thing, where I took this drama group from my school to other schools to do some stage performance. So I've always been acting and directing people on stage before I stumbled on Kingsley Okoro in 1994. Okay. So it was easy for me to say, okay, fine. I'm now at a place where I have the option of which lane I want to travel. Okay, so switching was easy. Okay, because I love writing a lot, so it was very easy. After that first stint with a special set design and special makeup and all of that, the opportunity came in '98 to screenplay job and co-direct it. I was like, wow, here we go. And that was Mama Sunday. So that was how I switched from there. And I felt I didn't want to be jack of every trade. Having a balanced knowledge of every aspect of film production is enough for me. That's all I need to support my experts in different departments. But I don't want to be the one, well, I can do this, I can. No. I just want to enjoy writing and directing. And probably when I'm alone at home, just play with post-production, change the color scheme for the editor comes back. And I said, I didn't touch the system. it's not me. You didn't you save it?
Okay, so as a director, though, how easy is it to bring a script to life, like a written work, and then give life to it? How is it that?
Well, first of all, if you're a director who wants to find that easy, you must be a good storyteller, right? Then you leap across that into understanding what the cameras and the lights can do in interpretations. You know, have a good understanding of your lighting and lenses and movements. Then it works out fine.
Okay.
It should be that easy if you have trained. I'm sorry, I didn't add that, because many of us today, we don't want to train. Okay, I make bold to tell people that I class myself as one of the most vastly trained directors in Nollywood. Do you know why? Because I went through 8 strong directors in this country before I ever stepped my foot in the bottle of directing. You want me to mention them for you?
I would like that.
Okay. I worked on Andy Amanichi's set, very close to that director.
Okay.
So I saw some things. Bonde Merowa, Ifeanyi Onyabo, Moses Ebere, Simisola Okwedu, who personally taught me editing and giving me some directing tips as I went. That's 5 his name. Oh God, where are the names now? They're there. They're there. If they're there, I'll get the other 3.
Okay.
So now what I'm trying to say is I patiently went through listening to directors, watching them work, asking questions. I wasn't in a hurry to stand behind the camera because I knew it's trouble. So when the opportunity came to stand behind the camera, I had all my answers in my hands.
Okay.
So to me, directing now becomes easy, but I think it will be unfair for me to expect it to be easy for everybody, especially when it is possible for you to be a director today and not have trained. Okay, because there's no law that says if you don't train, you can't be a director. All you need to do to be a director is camera and lights, action, empty space, shoot a monologue of a wall, and do post-production of text. You're a director. It's accepted.
Okay,
so,
talking about training though, you were one of the pioneers, or one of the founding members of the Directors Guild of Nigeria. Would you say that guild is doing what it's supposed to do as far as training and structuring?
Without going back to how it all started, because I left the Directors Guild of Nigeria in 2000 as the Secretary General to the Guild. I think the second Secretary General I took over from Victor Ohai. At that stage, we were not focused on training because we were focused on building the structure up, calling these directors together. Let's come in together as a body. Let's now begin to look at the industry, look at our field, see what problems we have, what challenges we have, what we can do. But if you fast forward to today, the Directors Guild is really busy right now organizing seminars, training, workshops, conferences, and I think it's picking up gradually, okay? I strongly believe that in a short while from now, we might soon start hearing the Directors Guild in partnership with the Film Academy, retraining directors and all that, holistically. But it's been done in pocket sizes, in bite sizes from time to time, maybe 3 days workshop, 1 day seminar here and there. So it does help. Plus the fact that the Guild has been able to get support from maybe some funding sources to send some of the directors abroad as well to get further training, which many of us are enjoying their work now because they've managed to see the other side of the picture. Okay,
lastly, before I let you go, I'm going to ask you what I think would be a personal question. If you were to make a movie about Chuks Mordi, who would play Chuks Mordi and who would you pick to direct it?
Who would play Chuks Mordi?
Yeah.
And who would I pick to direct it? Me.
You do both?
Yes.
Why? So you don't think anybody can direct a film about you or anybody can play?
No, because not even my mom understands me.
Oh, okay.
I'm a very weird person. I'm a rare species. Every day I study myself, I relearn myself. There is so much about me that I'm here to discover. So it's going to be difficult for me to interpret me to you. I'll just say, plan the cameras, I'll give myself the instructions, do the roll, go back and press the record, and I'll just have to do it.
And you think it's going to come out great?
Do I look good? Do I look good? Then you should come out. Because I'll be giving you exactly Chicks Mordi.
Okay.
I was watching Simon Cowell's show, X Factor,
Yeah.
and somebody came out to perform Michael Jackson, just to help you understand. And this guy did Michael Jackson trailer, is it Billie Jean or I think the trailer one, did all the moves and all that. And everyone was like wowing and hard and clapping. You know what Simon Cowell did? He was like this. When the guy finished, he said, why would I pay to come and watch you with Michael Jackson when I can see Michael Jackson when he's alive? Do you understand? Okay. So that helps you understand what I mean. Yeah. Unless you want me to produce a fake Chicks Mordi on screen for you. If you want to see a story about Chicks Mordi, unless I'm dead, don't bother casting it. Nobody can play me.
All right, thank you so much for coming. I hope we can
have
the pleasure of being on set for one of your movies sometime.
Yes, soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen your performance and I think I love it.
Aww.
So would have to have that in mind.
Okay. Thank you guys for sticking with me. And before I go, like I always say, do not forget to join us on all of our social media platforms. Details of all of that is on the scroll bar down below. And then you can follow me on Instagram at PHYCE and on Twitter it means at Daysua. And I don't think my guest is like a social media fanatic.
Well, thank you everyone. The name remains Chicks Mordi. Spell it right, or as you won't find me, CHUCKS. You'll find me somewhere, not very loud. Just search carefully. Thank you.
Till I come your way next time, from me and my guest, it's bye-bye.